What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Serenity, Soul Invictus. Yes, and the sun is still unconquered, baby. Anyways, I'm out here today in the nature once again. Yes, taking it from the indoors to the outdoors, the great outdoors. With an interesting topic today. I was having a conversation with someone a few days ago, and this subject actually lasted on my mind for days. Last night I was laying down and I'm just like, wow, you know what? I'm gonna take this to my spirit fam. I'm gonna take this to my internet tribe. We're gonna see what the feedback, the general consensus is. And so I have compiled a little personal list related to the topic, and I would like for your feedback. I would like for you to leave your comments below to let me know what signs you think are showing that it's inevitably the time to go. That is definitely, undeniably, without a doubt, time to keep it moving. Now, the topic, like I said, is knowing intuitively when to move on. When to move on. And so this could be whether you're in a relationship, this can be a partnership, this can be a situation or circumstance. This can be, like I said, business related, personal, whatever. Like if you're in an apartment, if you're in a place that you no longer desire to live in, when do you know it's time to cut the cords? When does your heart tell you, okay, look, I don't care what happens, I've got to go. This has come to its full fruition, and it's time to move on. According to my list, now, like I said, hit like, definitely support your girl, support the channel, hit like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. If you have, ashe and blessed be. If you have not, like I said, do so right now. It's not going to take you any time at all. It's not going to cost you anything at all. And make sure to hit the notification bell on the side. Of course, that's going to let you know when I'm back with new videos. Otherwise, how else would you know? So anyways, the topic is knowing when it's time to move on. So, the number one sign is that you are basically exhausted. that is usually the first sign. You're drained. You're like, you've had enough. You're like, oh my God, I could not care less at this point. What happens or what doesn't happen? If something happens, if let's just say there's an emergency situation, let's just say you hear something like, I don't know, crawling from the walls, inside of the walls or something of the place you live or something like that, and you're just like checked out. You're like, you know what? Yeah, I'll tell the landlady or the landlord tomorrow. You know you're exhausted because it's like one thing after the other. You're like, oh my gosh, again? Now you have to go and put every fiber of your being into resolving this other issue. So that can be in a relationship as well. You're like, oh my goodness, again, right? That is sign number one. Oh, guys, the weather is not looking so great today. I think we have some serious, like rain coming, but that's great. That's always to cleanse the land, right? And to bring the fruits abound. The second sign is, oh my gosh, you are hella angry. You're angry. You're angry all the time. It's like no matter what the person does, no matter what they say, whether it's to you or not, you're like, what is wrong with you? You lose your cool. You lose your temper. It's unbecoming of you. You're not yourself. You don't understand what flipped that switch on you and caused you to go goo goo, gaga on a brother. Again, that's sign number two. Uncontrollable emotion. The anger is just, it has become a different level of anger. Your anger is turned into rage. Some people would call it impotent rage, but for some people, it's not impotence. For some people, they break stuff. For some people, they yell to the top of their lungs, and like neighbors can hear them, and they're embarrassed afterward. But in the moment, you have control over yourself. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. If those aren't signs already, what are? But anyways, I have a third, number three, the third sign that it's time to move on is that you are motivated. It's like 1,000 horses pushing you is not enough to get you to get into drive, into gear. You are unenthused. You are unexcited. It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? And so that is a very big telltale sign right there that it is time to move on. Like you've worn out all of your energy. You've worn out the passion. You've worn out. It has reached. It has reached a point where it's like a point of no return. That's a big one. So you see people in relationships, they actually gain weight, they stop fixing their hair, they start like wearing makeup. Actually they cut the hair off as a woman. Can you imagine that? Cutting your hair off. You're now like bald or like a low fade, like you're on the NBA or something as a woman. You've gained like 45, 65, 85 pounds, you know? You stop wearing heels, you stop putting on lotion, you stop polishing your nails, you stop putting on makeup. You know, that's a big sign of a person who is exhausted, angry, and what else? Unmotivated, right? So you guys, you have to think about these things. Go within yourself and think about these things. That is telling you something. The fourth sign, oh my God, the fourth sign of its sign of it being a time to move on is you are very irritable. Irritable. Now, this may not be towards the person, the target, or the person that you're exactly, moving on from, or the situation that you're moving on from. It's directed at everybody else surrounding the situation. Your kids come and say something to you, like, God damn it, not now. Like you can't even think first before you chop. Like, it's crazy. You're neurotic, you're impulsive, you're like a nervous wreck. You're on edge all the time. Everything that you do, that they do, that people do around you is so annoying. You're like, oh my God, why does she have to hold that pencil like that? Does he have to eat like that? Can't they put the things back in the drawer properly the way I had them? Like, everything gets on your last nerves. And this is a problem. Nobody deserves to go through life feeling this way. It's too joyous and precious a thing to actually be bothered by every single little minute thing that happens around you. So when this happens, when you see things like this occurring, some people say, oh, it's the hormones, they're PMSing or whatever. Some people blame it on all kinds of things, lack of sleep, all of these things, which actually do have an effect on you. But more often than not, it is because it is time to move on, and you're ignoring the signs. Last but not least on the list is, this one is more so geared towards females, but it is your gut. Men have it as well. It's called intuition. We all have intuition. We're all intuitive, but it grows, it is developed the more you understand it and the more you work on it, the more you nurture your intuition, that gut feeling that tells you, hey, it's time to move on. If you're watching this video, something tells me your gut is already yelling at you, it's time to move on. Because you will not be watching. People who don't need answers to certain questions will not be seeking them. So if you're just casually out of curiosity watching this video, then of course I'm not talking to you. If you are seeking an answer for a question that you have deep inside as to whether or not it is time to move on, do trust that by your watching, clicking on this video is the confirmation. Yes, it is time to move on. It has been for a while. So there's a quote that I saw the other day on a meme that says, settle for less than you deserve and you end up getting less than what you settled for. Let me say that again. Settle for less than you deserve and you end up getting less than what you settled for. Let that sink in, you guys. And with that, I'm going to end the video because the signs are clear. The signs are right before your eyes. Nothing happens in life just spontaneously. There are always signs. And today I've come to actually outline some of those signs, and this is why I need your feedback so much in the comments below. Let me know what signs it was for you to know it was time to move on, that you've graduated a certain situation, place, or thing, and that you are not regretful having done so, having moved on. Okay? So, you guys, love you for watching. Like I said, the weather is taking a turn, and so I'm going to go now. But peace and love until I come back with another great topic. Blessed be, y'all, and namaste.